In this life, we gotta go through some things. We gotta go through some trials. We gotta go through some pain. We gotta go through some storms. We gotta go through some rain. This world can drive you insane, but I thank God for everything. I thank God for my life and the sins He's forgiven. Could never ever forget when I was pregnant in prison, when I was down on my luck for making terrible decisions. He had it all worked out. He had a beautiful vision. I thank God every day. First of all, I want to start off by saying thank you for this opportunity. It's really changed my life in a short amount of time, and I can't imagine the doors that's going to continue to open with this opportunity that you guys have provided to me and for me, and for anybody watching. I guess I'm going to be the one to, you normally you do all the introducing, and you do a lot with this show. But Jersey Doll is the executive producer of this show, not just the opportunity with all things through Christ, but the Mental Margarita Show, which I see so many beautiful things happening with that. It's a great platform for aspiring artists and entrepreneurs, and herself and her partner Sly Cat. Afforded me this opportunity. We met in such a beautiful way, and I just wanted to kind of put that out there as a brief introduction to you, as I've learned a lot about you, and and to just keep doing what you guys are doing. I just want to say that first and foremost. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Royal. It's my pleasure and an honor to be on the show with you and to be visiting and talking about stuff. We got just stuff happening in life, and you're right. The shows are such a blessing, and we've met so many beautiful people through the shows and lives, and heard people's dreams, and it's just such a wonderful experience all around
Amen.
with every person we meet and touch. So
Absolutely. The word that you just said, dreams, Lord, with life it's so easy to lose sight of our dreams. And you know so many people, I'm pretty sure they're so talented, and just with the life and everything like that, that just kind of stands in the way of them reaching their dreams. So, I really see beautiful things happening with these platforms that we're creating. Professionally and publicly known as Jersey Doll, artist, musician, writer, teacher. Man, you got a lot of titles. You wear a lot of hats, and we do have a lot in common as well. Talking about overcoming adversity, but I just want to jump right into it, if that's okay with you.
let's do
Just,
it.
let's just do it, okay?
Mhm.
I learned that you started performing and writing music at an early age. Um, and I know, just by watching this a few things and learning about you, I kind of have a similar thing in common, with doing music and playing the trumpet, being a marching band and all that. Grew up a pastor's kid, and I know a few PKs, and I know just just some of the struggles that they went through with that. I would say kind of like pressure and things like that. Even my cousins, pastor kids and things like that. I know quite a few PKs. So growing up a pastor's kid, we're gonna start here. How did faith and music intertwine for you early on?
I was blessed because it was always there. Now, my father was not always a Christian. So he became saved when I was 7 turning 8. My mother would invite every preacher, missionary, evangelist over for dinner that was visiting in town. She'd tell the pastor, "Have him over. I want him to meet my husband and talk to him and witness to him." So my dad knew the Bible inside and out before he became a Christian because he was so good at defending why he wasn't one. So
Wow.
so she prayed for him to be touched by God and the Holy Spirit, and he certainly was, because one day a pastor said to him, "Why not? Why aren't you a believer?" And he didn't have a good enough answer. So
Amen.
that was the day that changed his heart, and then he felt called for almost immediately to
Yeah.
study in ministry. So my mother definitely had her prayers answered, and our family's life changed completely. And just it, we it's a when you're a preacher's home and a pastor's family, everyone's invested and involved and committed to
I can
to serve
imagine.
to service. So
Mhm.
it's an everyday thing, but it was also a very enriching experience. I learned many things from an early age. some things we see that maybe, that some of the other world doesn't see, like suffering and things that need God's help and need ministry and need
Absolutely.
attention and help. So um we actually went to one of the poorest towns in Southern California because that's where they needed a church the most.
Wow.
So we went to an area that was gang ridden, drug ridden.
Hmm.
Um, we would go knocking on doors on the weekends to invite people
Wow,
to
really?
church, and the police would tell us, if you go down that street, we can't protect you because we don't go down there. It's not
Oh,
safe for
wow.
us.
Yeah.
So, it was that.
That's a
So,
lot. That's a lot. And I can see where you get your heart from. I can see where you get your heart for people, your love for people. I can now that you're just saying that, it makes perfect sense. And I do believe that God aligns us with, who we need to be aligned with at the right time. And that says a lot about your faith going out there into those dangerous neighborhoods. The police said, "Hey, you're at your own risk," and still going out there knocking on doors, because I actually knock doors for a living, and just
right.
professionally. So, and I know the challenges. I can't imagine the challenges of going out there on a different level than professionally. So, God bless you. With that, that's a heck of a story right there. So, when did Jersey Doll your become your professional identity?
Gosh, you know what? It wasn't that long ago. That I can accredit Slycat to.
Okay.
We just kind of it just kind of was born out of my nanny. My grandma lived with me for the last 8 years of her life. Before she went, she had dementia, so I was her caregiver, and she always called me Dollface, and that
Oh,
was just
wow.
her little nickname for me.
Wow.
So, and when I left New Jersey, when my family moved away and moved to the West Coast, I was kind of doll-sized. So it just kind of made sense, and I kind of have my jersey came from my mom. She kind of kept that East Coast spirit with her always.
That's
So
awesome.
I got that from her and kind of regained that. It's just kind of just part of me. It just never left me. So
Love it. I
yeah.
love. And not just to say that, but I believe you said you are from New Jersey, right?
Yes, born in New Jersey. All my family was from New Jersey, New York area, and Central Jersey. We lived in Rahway, right by the state prison.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
when I was little, I didn't know we lived in a bad neighborhood. But I got to ride my bike in the house, which I thought was the coolest thing in the world. I didn't know it was because I couldn't go out front. So
I remember you telling me that story at one of my performances. I mean, that's like wow. And I just want to jump into overcoming adversity. Like I said, learning a lot about you or more about you. Even more recently, and knowing about some of my part of my story and things that I've overcome, and with the fact that we're both women as well, and women aspiring in the music industry, or just that's been doing music for a long time. The under I won't say underdogs, but not where the whole world has heard of us just yet, because it's coming.
mhm.
um as a woman in the music industry, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced, and how did you rise above them? Before I even get into your music, and I just and before I know, I'm gonna cut myself short. I only heard the Black Top Hustle song that you shared with me, which I love, but I listened to the piano song, and I'm not gonna jump. I'm gonna back up. I'm just kind of getting ahead of myself. But this is a question I want to ask you. Once again, as a woman in the music industry, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced, and how did you rise above them?
For starters, yes, I came from a pastor's family, and we're in the spotlight a lot, and people expect a lot. So when you have an image to live up to,
There you go.
it's tough.
I can
And
imagine.
I went from living in a rural area to Vegas, and I was not prepared or ready for that big city speed and fast, and you
Yeah.
know
That's a heck
it
of a transition for you. I can imagine.
It was,
from
and
being
well,
kind of
I went there,
stereotypical. Mhm.
I went there for work, but of course, with the grand idea that, hey, I'm a musician, I'm a singer, I'm gonna make this is the entertainment capital. So,
Right.
um, this is perfect. This is gonna work out great. So, with those grand ideas, um, I ended up doing many things in Las Vegas, and have loved every minute of it, even this hard stuff. But for a woman, we tend to do a lot extra to establish our role and establish our credibility sometimes,
Absolutely.
and kind of
And
having to prove sometimes to the opposite sex that we're enough and that we can hold our own, and
mhm,
qualified for certain things. And that's in the business world too. It's not
yeah.
just in music, but it was a little
And in
tougher.
life. Hmm.
As a musician, I had to work a lot harder. There weren't a whole lot of female keyboard players, so I had to work extra harder to make sure that I was on top of my game. So I ended up doing lots of stuff from different bands to tribute shows to off Broadway stuff, which is probably some of the toughest jobs I had because I'm not really technically trained. I'm mostly self-taught. So
That's
um,
awesome.
we always have to be. I've always been a lifelong learner, so I'm always striving to know stuff and
Me
learn
too.
more
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
just develop who I am. And
Yeah, and that's the way you
um,
got to be these days. If you're aspiring to be successful, there's no way you can be closed-minded. You always, I feel, you got to have a student mentality. You always got to have an open mind and to, be a sponge. You know what I mean? So, I
mhm.
have a thirst of learning and learning and learning. I never feel like I know it all, and I just want to learn. I learn from people. I learn from, myself. I learn from life, and that's pretty awesome right there, and I love your answer too. Woman to woman, absolutely. We face a lot of challenges with the images, that they have out there, and everything. But I want to kind of get into your creative work, because once again, before we scheduled this interview, I've only heard one song, and that was the Black Top Hustle. Guys, go on YouTube right now. Black Top Hustle. BLACKTOP, and hustle is HU with the two S's being a dollar sign, I believe,
Mhm.
LE. And listen to that. It's kind of like a tribute to Nipsey Hussle. That's so dope. And I believe that was before he even passed, right? Um,
It was right around the time of him
yeah.
passing away.
Okay. Wow. And that
Yeah.
it blew my
And
mind. When it's,
that song, I'm glad you brought up that song. I wrote that song at my one of my lowest points, but not low in the fact it was high as far as creativity, yeah, with my being creative, um, which tends to be born out of struggle,
I
pain. That's
understand.
why my roots in music is blues and gospel. So that song was born out of a period of being out, and
Yeah.
playing on the street corner and just trying to make enough for that day to have something to eat, and then getting a bus pass to sleep on the bus so I was safe.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of levels to struggle. And
It
there's
is.
also, as women, we have to be careful to not compromise ourselves, our bodies, our respect for
Absolutely.
ourselves, and to not let people take advantage, because in the music business that tends to be, even still, tends to be, people seem to take allowances and give themselves permission to do things and say things and act a certain way that they ought not to. So
Absolutely. So true.
always, you just always have to respect yourself, and be strong
Very
and stand up
important.
for yourself, and
Very important.
not let people walk on you. So as a woman in Vegas, as a musician, I had to keep my eyes open all the time, because
Absolutely. I can imagine.
there's always someone seeking an opportunity to do harm. So
Absolutely.
you just always gotta just watch everything.
Can you let me know about let us know about the Dirty Dog Leg
Hmm.
album?
Sure. So it's a collection of songs that really explores kind of where my music came from, some of the things I went through and overcame, from sexual assault to domestic violence to depression to um, getting over substance use and just things that attack us from all sides, when
I also know
and one of
about
the
you. Hmm.
one of the things that I learned through counseling, and folks, we all need someone to talk to, and
Absolutely.
we all need someone to reach out to and help for things because life is hard,
It is.
and we get faced with and hit with things that you just never know. So, enduring trauma and things like that is enough to trigger substance use,
Yeah,
and people can go two ways. They can do something harmful or they can just be obsessed with something else. So I
absolutely.
tended to use substances. So, and
Hmm.
then that sometimes leads to crime, and then that creates legal problems, and it
Yeah.
just
It's
snowballs.
like a domino
So
effect, you know what I mean?
so
Depending on,
Dirty Dog is about all those things that happened as a result from untreated trauma, really, which led
oh
to
man.
different choices that you know were born into other situations. But then the other side, there's light on the other side when you're able to come out and realize and kind of discover what part of you lost and how to get it
Yeah.
back.
And when you get it back, oh man, you gotta hold on to as tight as you can possibly hold and never let yourself go again. So you've been through transformation as well, and I learned that you went through bariatric surgery.
Mhm.
And you went through issues with your weight and everything like that, and you beat the diabetes diagnosis. And can you let us know a little bit about that as well, because I know that some people may take their pain and turn it into overeating. Some people might, like you said, substance abuse, which I've overcome that as well. I'm 15 years clean. And
Amen.
some people just do different things to cope because, like you said, life is
Mhm.
hard. So can you just let me know a little bit about your journey as far as the surgery and how things have been going and how you've been kind of keeping the weight off? Because I'm kind of I'm a former athlete, and I'm not going to go as far as having surgery, but I'm naturally trying to get down another 50 pounds. I need 50 pounds off. So how has that been for you as far as the weight loss journey?
I'm blessed. I had no complications. I was inspired by the singer Carney Wilson after she had her surgery 20
Wow.
something years ago. And I thought, if she can do it, I can try this out too. And I watched my mom died a very slow, painful death. She suffered from diabetes and obesity, and hers was caused from emotional overeating, from untreated trauma as a child. So
Gotta do it.
unfortunately, without her wanting to, she taught me those same habits that were harmful. So we ate together and we were
Right.
fat together and
Trauma
overweight.
bond.
And
Yeah.
it's just, it's that's just what happened. And if I knew then what I know now, I might have been able to help us both. But
Yeah.
it's part of the journey and learning about yourself. And then when I made the decision to have surgery, it's very drastic. It's a very drastic life change. You have to make a lot of changes.
Yeah.
And but the main thing is I wanted to live. I
Yeah.
didn't want to suffer, and I wanted to do something about it while I could. I was young, so my body did real well. I recovered well, lost 250 pounds,
That's
and
awesome. Wow.
was like a whole new person.
I can
And
only imagine.
there's little things that people don't realize about being overweight, just the way people treat you and the way you look at yourself, and
Yeah.
just you learn a lot. I learned a lot about myself, but I wasn't able to be successful at it until I accepted that I had a food addiction. And then
Absolutely.
you find out where the food addiction was coming from, what was making me eat. So being more mindful about why we do things is
Exactly.
the first step in
Absolutely.
getting better.
Jersey Doll has a children's literature book out there, um, on Amazon, and I believe it is on Amazon.
Mhm.
Mouse in the Manger, and so you wrote a children's book called Mouse in the Manger. And before I even get to a more beautiful part of this book, you were the writer, and the illustrator was someone in prison serving a life sentence. Now that is when you told me about that, it blew my mind, because for one, well, I'll say, well, it's a beautiful thing because I've been in prison, I've been behind, I've been incarcerated, And I've met some people in prison during my time that just never getting out. When I got out, I wrote letters and things like that. And so for someone to illustrate a book that you wrote that's never gonna get out and serving a life sentence, I know that has to be rewarding, and it has to be special to you. So can you tell us more about your children's book called Mouse in the Manger?
The story was born from I taught in a Catholic school for 3 years, and the kindergartners are such a fun age because they're just finding themselves as people, and it's their first, you know, big outing that they have somewhere to go every day and are learning all these things about life. So the story came, I made balloon animals and I would give them to my students as a gift each lesson. So I would make a mouse. It was one of the things I would make. So
Wow.
um I ended up making the whole class these little balloon mice, and had come up I needed a story to go with the mice. It was around Christmas time, and this is how the story came about. So
Wow.
um, Matthew is a little mouse that actually lives in the barn where baby Jesus was born. So the
How
night
about
he's born, he helps keep baby Jesus warm and does all these little things, all the while staying hidden from sight so that the people don't see him. So the moral of the book is about having courage, and even if you're small, you can still do something big for God.
Amen. I love that.
And it's really just an exploration about and learning about animals and the story of the birth of Jesus, and
Love it.
as told by a field mouse. So it's it's a
How
really cute
creative.
story. The book
How
the book is actually an activity book, so parents and teachers can use it to make a kids play out of it. They can There's ideas and games and things in there too. So it's for a few it spans like a few grade levels, but it's a fun little
awesome.
book. Now I
That's
wrote the book,
awesome.
but I didn't have any pictures.
Right.
So I happened to be having dinner one day with a chaplain and his wife and told them about the story. And the chaplain said, "Oh, hey, I have somebody that's one of my trustees that is an artist. And
Mhm.
something that he does is his ministry is making art for churches and people's religious pictures." So
So,
I said, "Can I give you the story and give to him and see if maybe he's inspired to bring the character to life? I don't know." So within a few months, he had made all these illustrations and drawn, and being in a maximum security prison, he didn't have a lot of writing instruments to choose from.
yes,
So
wow.
some of the artwork was done from things he found that had color and things that he was able to put together. So it made the pictures that much more precious and special. And the fact that through this process I got to know his family a little bit, and his sister and his daughter, who was a teenager when he went in,
Oh
and
man.
has since then had a baby boy, and so he's a grandfather, and it'll be quite
Wow.
some time before he gets to meet his grandson, but
Wow.
he wanted to be able to contribute something to them. So this book allowed him to be able to give them something
Absolutely.
and
And it's
have
nothing
something
like
that
that.
they can be proud of and share with
That's
the
powerful.
world and be able to benefit from for years to come.
All things through Christ is because that's just what it is, and that's just the way it's supposed to be, and that's what God wants. Okay, so I appreciate every opportunity. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate talking to you, learning more about you, and Sly Cat, and learning more about the Mental Margarita, show. And I'm excited about where we're going with things. I'm very excited.
Yes, we have a lot to be excited about, a lot to be thankful for, and to look forward to. There's a lot coming, folks. You have
Uh,
no idea what's coming, but it's coming.
yeah, it's coming, and so we got to stay tuned. And I'm doing everything on my end. I'm in sales and marketing, so I'm doing everything on my end. I'm getting ready to, to get on the marketing side with this show and start putting this thing out there on different platforms and boosting it, running ads if I have to, Google ads, Facebook ads, whatever, to get it out there and really blow this show up and get you guys and get us, to the level that we need to be, because there's nothing like inspiring, and I live to inspire and motivate. And so thank you for being like-minded. Thank you guys for every opportunity that you guys bring my way. And may God continue to bless us on this journey called success.
Yes, thank you, Royal. And
Thank
great
you.
visiting with you. Thanks for having me.
Tired of old school cable internet slowing you down? Let Tech Savvy Sales and Marketing Group help you make the switch. We are a leading provider of internet, home automation, security, and TV services, offering high-speed solutions tailored to your needs. Thanks to partnerships with top providers like AT&T Fiber, Vivint, Kinetic Windstream, Brightspeed Fiber, and DirecTV, we can connect you with amazing deals. For example, switching from Spectrum Cable to AT&T Fiber can boost your upload speeds by up to 25 times, providing plenty of bandwidth for smart home devices, streaming, gaming, and work. No more lag or slowing down. Our highly trained professionals offer free personal consultations, and unlike other providers, we go above and beyond with direct communication and doorstep visits to find the best solution, tailored to your exact needs. Call us today to schedule your free consultation or visit our website for more information on our services.
Rising from the Shadows is a wellness brand that is dedicated to helping people become whole, focusing on self-love, self-help, and self-awareness. Whatever part of the journey you're on, you can live each day intentionally according to God's purpose. Visit risingfromtheshadows.net and also find swag to lift your spirit. That's risingfromtheshadows.net.
In this life, we gotta go through some things. We gotta go through some trials. We gotta go through some pain. We gotta go through some storms. We gotta go through some rain. This world can drive you insane, but I thank God for everything. I thank God for my life and the sins He's forgiven. Could never ever forget when I was pregnant in prison, when I was down on my luck for making terrible decisions. He had it all worked out. He had a beautiful vision. I thank God every day for this life that I'm living. Being able to make a way to provide for my children. I won't stop till I run up a million. And when I run up a million, then I'ma run up a billion. Don't believe me, just watch. You witnessing the top notch. And I'm gon' shine cause it's my time, like the hands on the clock. As long as God is my rock, number one is my spot. I reinvented myself. Used to be cold, now I'm hot. About my past I forgot, but I could never forget. Cause I don't live there anymore like an evicted tenant. So when you speak on my name, put me up there with the greatest. Cause I ain't gon' stop no matter what. Nothing but love on my hands. In this life.